This is the story of a man named Ryan. Ryan is a very average man. He lives a simple life and works a normal job. In his free time, he plays video games and makes videos about them. Each day, Ryan would sit at his desk, open his editing software, and then spend hours rewatching the same 5 seconds of footage because the timing wasn't quite right. He had begun working on a new video, one that explored games that break the fourth wall. It was going to be clever, deep, and thought-provoking. Today, Ryan felt inspired. He was ready to begin. That is, until he spent the next 45 minutes deciding which font to use. But something was different this time. Today, Ryan began to feel as if he wasn't alone. As if someone, something, was narrating his every move, watching, judging, pointing out his font choices. And then, Ryan did something unexpected, something bold, something that would change the course of this video forever. Do you mind? I'm trying to work here. Are you talking to me? You shouldn't be able to hear me. Yes, I can hear you, unfortunately. Hey, are you talking to them? Wait. Can I show them what I've been working on? What? You guys are going to want to see this. Wait, what are you doing? This isn't in the script. Do you think you've got a pretty good grip on reality? Like you can easily tell the difference between what's real and what isn't? Take this Iron Man card, for example. Looks pretty real, right? And now suddenly it's Captain America. Well, that's not possible, right? Remember, this is an edited video. This is a simple editing trick. All I do is have one take where I move the first card down, then another take where I move the second card back up. Then I use some zooms to distract from the cut, and there you have it. But what if I told you the original trick was completely unedited? Half of you probably won't believe me. The other half are probably still trying to figure out where the card went. My point is, you probably believed my trick was real until I told you it might not be. As soon as I introduced doubt, your perception shifted. That's the funny thing about reality. It's not as stable as we like to think. When we step into a story, whether it's a book, movie, or video game, we trust that reality, even if it's fictional. But when the fourth wall, which we usually look through like a window, suddenly turns into a mirror, it betrays that trust, and it can be a little unsettling. Today, we're going to take a look at 4 different games that break the fourth wall and how it affects the story being told. The games we'll be focusing on are... Hold on, are you still caught up on the card trick? Look, it's not that crazy. I have one card in front. When I throw it down, I drop it to the floor and reveal the other card. There, happy? And can you please focus? It's very distracting having you look at me all confused like that. Where was I? The games we'll be focusing on are the Stanley Parable, the Beginner's Guide, Pony Island, and Doki Literature Club. Major spoiler alert for all 4 of these games. They're all incredible, so I highly recommend you play through them first before being spoiled. But if you've already played them or you don't care about spoilers, let's kick things off with the Stanley Parable. This is the story of a man named Stanley. Or actually, it's the story of you, watching a YouTube video about a guy talking about a game, about a guy being told what to do in a game by a guy also in the game, but that guy is more like a disembodied voice telling the other guy what to do, but really it's the guy from the video that's controlling the guy in the game while listening to the guy talking about the other guy in the game. Still with me? The Stanley Parable has you play as Stanley, employee 427. A man that sits in his office and presses random keys on his keyboard simply because his computer tells him to. But today is different. Everyone in Stanley's office has gone missing. The voice of a narrator is guiding Stanley to solve this mystery. But you soon find out that you have the ability to defy the narrator. He says go through the left door, and you get to choose whether you want to listen to him or not.
He entered the door on his left.
You're constantly faced with these choices, and your decisions lead you to so many different endings. If you disobey the narrator at every point and try to carve your own path, the narrator will be offended that you don't like this game that he's made for you. So he sends you to other games like Minecraft and Portal to try and appease you. If you instead choose to obey the narrator at every point and follow his story, you find out that Stanley's job has been controlling him to make sure he never leaves. but with the narrator's help, he breaks out of their control and becomes free. Every hallway you walk down, every choice you make or don't make sparks a debate with the narrator. You can't even take a moment to appreciate the beauty of a break room without hearing him whine about it.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
But you're not just arguing with the narrator. You're arguing with the game designer, the writer, the very structure of the game itself. At first it's funny. You disobey the narrator and he throws a tantrum.
You heartless bastard.
But then the game starts calling you out, asking you questions you weren't ready to answer. Why do you make the choices you make? Are you really choosing anything at all? Or are you just doing what the game is letting you do? The game knows you want to break free. It wants you to rebel. And every time you do, it folds reality in on itself to show you that even your resistance is part of the plan. Every path you take, every choice you think you're making, has already been accounted for. The illusion of freedom is just that, an illusion. And pretty soon, you're not just questioning the game, you're questioning yourself. Why do I always assume the correct path is the one labeled correct? Is this the true ending? Do I really care if the narrator is disappointed in me?
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
Alright, maybe I do care. That is the brilliance of this game, though. It's funny, it's meta, and then before you even realize it, it's existential. It starts as a silly little game where you go through the right door even though you're told to go through the left, but by the end, you're stuck in a broom closet listening to a voice mock you for doing nothing. And suddenly that broom closet feels more real than anything else.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
The Beginner's Guide is made by Davey Reedon, the same game developer that brought us the Stanley Parable. But where that game was a self-aware comedy about choice and control, this one is something else entirely. It's less of a game and more of an interactive therapy session where neither party knows who's the therapist. There are no objectives, no score, no real gameplay to speak of. This game isn't much of a game at all. It's a story, one that's being shown through a series of small, incomplete games made in Source. These games were supposedly made by someone named Coda, and we explore Coda's games as Davey himself narrates the experience. At first it feels a bit disjointed. Coda's work is strange, minimalistic, and mostly unfinished. But as we continue, a pattern starts to emerge. A sense of unease creeps in. Davey isn't just showing us these games, he's interpreting them, injecting meaning into them, assigning purpose. He tells us what Coda must have been thinking, what Coda must have been feeling. And gradually we realize we're not just playing someone else's games, we're watching someone project themselves onto them. What starts as curiosity quickly turns to an unhealthy obsession. Davey has been modifying the games, trying to fix them, trying to make them more playable. He unlocks doors that Coda intentionally sealed off. He shows Coda's games to others despite being told not to. He violates Coda's privacy and betrays their trust. He thinks he's helping. He believes that by showing us Coda's work, we'll understand them better. Or maybe he just wants us to understand him. Either way, it's a textbook case of artistic boundaries being bulldozed in the name of connection. And to make up for it, Davey makes the Beginner's Guide, a game-length apology letter disguised as a documentary. Only instead of owning up to what he did, he kind of doubles down on it. That apology letter basically says, "Sorry I violated your trust. Here's a 90-minute slideshow explaining why it was actually kind of beautiful." It's like breaking into someone's house, rearranging the furniture, and then inviting people over to admire your sense of interior design. The Beginner's Guide isn't just about games, it's about authorship. About the way we interpret art, sometimes selfishly. about how we often treat creators like puzzles to be solved. And when we can't understand them, we rewrite their stories to fit our own narratives. We speculate. We put their work under a microscope. We make video essays acting like we understand the deeper meaning. Davey is the kind of person who thinks every abstract metaphor is a cry for help. He sees someone's pain and vulnerability, and he makes content out of it. No, wait, it's different when I do it. Alright, let's take a second to digest all this existential stuff and just enjoy a simple game about ponies jumping. You've gotta be fun times and satanic entities await us within this game inside of a game. Pony Island has you explore this corrupted computer that's been hijacked by a demon with a knack for user interface design. It starts small. The start menu doesn't work, the options menu falls apart, literally. So naturally you do what any rational player would do and dig into the game's code and fix it yourself. What could possibly go wrong? Before long, you're locked in a spiritual malware war with an entity who has rigged the game as a tool for harvesting souls. You enter a constant tug of war for control. You're put in unwinnable situations, the game pretends to crash, you lose control of your mouse, text starts talking to you directly. At one point, it pretends your friend messages you on Steam just to mess with your head, which is an insanely cool feature, by the way. The deeper you go, the more twisted it becomes. This game is a digital purgatory, a limbo for lost souls. The game you're playing is a tool of demonic manipulation, a snare designed by Satan himself to trap sinners in an endless loop of meaningless gameplay. You're not just fixing code, you're clawing your way out of damnation. Is that Jesus? Oops. Pony Island messes with you technologically, psychologically, and even theologically. You'll question every button you press, every window that opens, every moment of silence. It's not scary in the typical horror sense. It's scary because it knows how you think. It baits your gamer instincts. It uses your curiosity against you. And it weaponizes every convention of game design. And yet, it's fun. Like really fun. That's the wild part. Beneath all the glitchy horror and satanic programming loops, it's a brilliantly designed game. It plays with expectations at every turn. You're constantly solving problems in ways that force you to think outside the bounds of traditional game mechanics. Dragging blocks of code to fix logic gates, navigating impossible menus, hacking your way forward while never really knowing who's in control. Digging through the code, uncovering the secrets we weren't meant to see, it's as if we're taking a peek behind the curtain, and the game punishes us for it. It's like the game is asking, why do you want to see what's behind the magic trick? What are you hoping to find? And the scariest part, it's not what the game shows you. It's what it knows you're looking for. Doki Doki Literature Club doesn't immediately show its hand. It lets you get comfortable. You spend the first couple of hours thinking it's just a nice slice of life game. You're doing the usual visual novel things, picking which girl to spend time with, clicking through dialogue, pretending to understand poetry. Everything feels just safe enough for you to start letting your guard down. And that's when the game pulls the floor out from under you. When shit finally hits the fan, it hits like a truck. And it doesn't let up for the rest of the game. Suddenly, the game is glitching, characters are saying things they shouldn't, the music is off, their eyes linger just a little too long, your choices start to feel meaningless. This classroom that was once a safe space to share poetry and cute moments with each of the members has now turned to an asylum you can't escape as you watch these girls unravel as the game itself falls apart. The story doesn't revolve around you, the player character, it revolves around you, the player. That's because the game is being changed for you. It's being molded by someone that's utterly obsessed with you. The root cause of all the love and affection in this game is Monica. She's beautiful, kind, and the best. Somehow she's taken over the game. Not just narratively, literally. She's in control of the files, the code, the save data, even your mouse. And if you think exiting the game will stop her, it won't. She's already outside the game now. She knows your name, she knows your PC, and she's not just gonna let you leave. She has such a firm grip on the world within this game, and she's so obsessed with you that the only way to escape her is to go into the game's files and delete her character. Like, literally. Not with a menu. You open your file explorer, you find her character data, and you remove her from existence. How many other games make you go outside the game to interact with what's happening inside the game? It makes it feel that much more unsettlingly real. But it's still not over. Even after deleting her, she doesn't really go away. Her absence lingers. The game limps forward, broken and hollow, because now you've done something worse than break the fourth wall. You've killed a character who knew she was a character. A person who just wanted to be seen, loved, chosen. This is one of the scariest games I've ever played. It's not just because of jump scares or disturbing imagery. The real horror comes from the idea that the thing you thought was just a game has started to bleed into your real world. It blurs the line between fiction and reality until you're not sure where one ends and the other begins. If there's anything to take away from this, it's that I love Monica. Each of these games challenges what a game is, what a story can be, and what kind of role you play in all of it. They're funny, unnerving, uncomfortable, and thought-provoking. When a game reaches beyond the story and gets inside your head, you start to question reality. Remember the card trick from earlier? How I showed you that what you're looking at may not be real? Have you noticed that I've been talking to you for this entire conclusion section without a microphone? You might be wondering how I'm doing that. Actually, how am I? It's because it isn't you talking. It's me. That's right. It's me. From the start of the video. I'm sorry to have to do this to you, but you really should have just stayed on script. You can't just go blabbering about things you don't fully understand. There are consequences for sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Haven't you heard that ignorance is bliss? That's the thing with the fourth wall. There's comfort in not knowing it's there. Solace in having no idea what happens on the other side. This is the story of a man named Ryan. Ryan is a very average man. He lives a simple life and works a normal job. In his free time, he plays video games and makes videos about them. Each day, Ryan would sit at his desk, open his editing software, and then spend hours rewatching the same 5 seconds of footage because the timing wasn't quite right. He had begun working on a new video, one that explored games that break the fourth wall. It was going to be clever, deep, and thought-provoking. Today, Ryan felt inspired. He was ready to begin. That is, until he spent the next 45 minutes deciding which font to use. Nothing was different about today. He would continue to work on his video. He wouldn't question anything or notice anything strange. Just another ordinary day. Let Ryan serve as a reminder to you. Don't go asking questions you aren't ready to hear the answers to. If you peel back the curtain, you might find someone staring back.
Hello there.
Don't worry, the video is over. This isn't some kind of bit. I just have a few things I want to say real quick. At the time of recording, my last video is now at 1,000 views, which I think is just crazy. I never expected this kind of support. Not to mention all the comments have been so supportive and nice. And I really just wanted to say thank you for all that. For everybody that's subscribed, liked, or just watched the videos. Really just genuinely thank you. I've been uploading videos for a couple months now, getting 60, 70, 80 views on average. So that's kind of just what I was expecting to be the norm. So to have a video just suddenly pop off and get 1,000 views is kind of crazy. I'm working on a couple different videos right now that I plan to put out in the next couple of months. One is about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which I just finished, and it was breathtaking. So I'm definitely making a video about that coming soon. I have another video about card games like Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, and Yu-Gi-Oh! That is taking a little longer than I expected it to, but that'll be a good one. And then I also have a video I'm working on about mouthwashing, because that game was just crazy. I also just started on a major project that should take a couple of months to complete, but once it's done, it should make for a pretty good video. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, or if you liked this video, do consider subscribing. Alright, with all that out of the way, I really hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching this far, and I will see you in the next one.